Hi everyone, I am Tara, and I'd like to welcome you all back to my channel, Spirit Mother Teachings of Going Within. Today I want to talk about, having a brain fart right at the moment. It's about prejudice in a business and how it can be bad business. As I said before, some of you may understand or like or agree with or what have you to what I have to say, and some may not. Because I experienced this, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it because of the time we're said that we're in the 21st century, modern times. So I'm having a hard time sometimes fathoming and kind of comprehending, because when you talk to other people, actually take the time to listen to what they have to say and allow each person to have a conversation, what you can end up finding out is you're on the same page in certain areas. And it's kind of a back and forth within the belief systems. I have a hard time, I believe very much in God, Mother, Father, Source, Creator, what have you, okay? I believe in that. And in retrospect, I'm not okay. I'm spiritual, which can be an aspect of a religious congregation. I listen to other congregations, stuff that they have to tell me, and what have you. And it makes no difference to me, okay? Because we're in the 21st century, and we say we are. We say we're in modern times, but we're still behaving like we're not in ways. We just have modern stuff. I have a hard time, I'll go to church sometimes just to meet people and hear what they have to say by way of scripture or what have you. Okay. And I've gone to different churches and met different people. Some treated me with respect, and some just kind of treated me like beneath them, but we all get that. Okay. So it's getting past that part of it, knowing that everyone has gone through it. Either it be in the reverse, or it be one way or the other way. You're still going through it because you're doing it to each other. So the experience today I had, it's okay. And I sit back some and I think, okay, it's sort of a mirror image of myself, because where sometimes you feel like you have your own doubts and it kind of sets you back a bit. And then you realize wait a minute, I'm open to hearing what others have to say, different cultures. And sometimes at first, when I'm being exposed to it or exposing myself to it, I get a little nervous. And the reason why I get nervous is because all of a sudden I feel like I'm going to be judged for one reason or another in that aspect of it. Okay, because that's a lot of what's happening here. We're continuing on the same cycle. And it's because we have a hard time opening up to understanding something else out of something that we've experienced ourselves. But then it's when we just keep reliving it. And that's a lot of what's happening right now. It's like we keep reliving it because everybody tells their story. And no matter what version of the Bible, biblical sense, or what have you, people are telling their stories. Okay? Sometimes stories get manipulated. So it's like we keep reliving someone else's story instead of really actually seeing what the moral to the story was. And that was becoming oneself, the part of you that is the part of Mother, Father, Creator, Source, God, what have you, however you may refer. So I guess part of it where I'm having a hard time is like when you have a business, okay, and you're a one culture, one religion background, what have you, or whatever group you may feel you belong with. It's like I hear people saying, find your soul tribe, find your tribe, what have you, okay? But the thing is, when everybody's talking about it and they're saying that everyone is your family. So if everyone is your family, then how are we saying find your soul tribe? Because if you're finding your soul tribe, aren't you finding family? Which family was supposed to be everyone? So it's kind of like that. And when you say about you get some people that it's like they want to put the book in front of you. Say, here, like you got to read this, okay? This is what we've gone through, okay? This is what you've gone through or your ancestors. And we just keep it going. So it's like, you got to read this. You got to read this. Okay. But then the same that they're saying their story and they're saying that the Creator God doesn't tell people what to do. And then in the same sentence, you say that, but these rules, okay? It's kind of I'm getting the word paradox. And it's like, what? It leaves you, it's like where they say, where it said they don't know what they say or do. And when you get into conversations a little deeper, okay, like I said, I'm open. Sometimes I get frustrated or agitated, but I don't know if it's that full part of me or if it's an aspect that is kind of like a reflection. And today, when I was experiencing something, like I kind of thought, like, okay, is this sort of, like I said, like a reflection to me because I'm feeling one way or another. And it's like, well, okay, is it swaying your beliefs? And it's kind of, it's not about swaying my beliefs as it is opening my mind up to other people's beliefs. You can have your own beliefs, but it doesn't mean that you're not allowed to hear other people's beliefs, because when you listen to somebody, when you listen to someone, you find out that you have the same beliefs, but you're struggling with it. Okay. Like where I went today, I wanted something, and I mean, I accept and I understand where the person's coming from in aspects, but it keeps me like questioning, like, aren't we supposed to be in modern times? Aren't we supposed to be past all this, instead of saying, well, this happened, and saying about wanting somebody to believe their side, but not believe any of the side of the others? So it's like, wait a minute, why should I believe your side any more than the others, when we just said that we were basically talking about the same people, the same beings, people, what have you, only they were going by different names. So that's a paradox, because you're both like, and I've said it, you're both, or you're all saying the same thing. It's just different names of people because of the different timelines it was in and the memory that you're having right now. Oh my God. Huh. Oh, you okay? Okay. That was what have you. But it is what it is. And if others don't understand it, that's okay. Because it's not saying that you won't. You're just not ready to yet. And when I was experiencing it, like, I thought, like, when you were of the congregations, that it was believing in the good things. And you're supposed to be believing that there's that change is going to happen, not saying that it's not, because then you're not even believing what you're preaching yourself. So that becomes an aspect of really kind of practice what we preach. And some of us don't like to do that. And I was there myself. And today it's not so much, it's not that I was offended. It was because I was trying to wrap my head around it. Because of a difference of belief, even though the same beliefs were kind of there, only it was like aspects of one may have been conflicting with themselves, and that's why I felt like I was. Maybe it was their mirror image too, mirroring each other back. Okay. So the person, they didn't want to make what I was asking for, because it was out of their religious beliefs. Okay. And I know a lot of that happens. And I'm just like wondering why. Like, how is that good business? Because, like, it's up to the person, yes, whether or not they want to do something for someone. But aren't you limiting yourself? Because if you're good with one thing, just think of what you can do with the other, and you balance them out. It's working with all materials, especially when the materials are all from the earth. and it just happens to be affiliated with one religious congregation or belief system or what have you over the other. But it's all the same. It comes from the earth, and it all has a specific healing purpose. So to me, it leans on the prejudice because of someone's group. And nobody should affiliate themselves with the group because we are a whole. And that's what like you hear in the gospel or religion or what have you. It's about that. But yet we're still, in some parts, we're still holding that animosity. And it's like if you step back, it's like asking yourself, why do I have the animosity? I understand that things happened, and it has been going on for many millenniums. But being in the time that we say we are right now, I would think we'd be more advanced. Maybe not so much electronically, but using our own intuitions, our own clairvoyance, our own self abilities instead of relying on something all the time. We rely on a book to give us the answers. When you have the answers yourself, it's a moral compass. It's knowing that you don't punch someone in the face, or you don't spit in someone's food, or you don't pick food up off the floor and then cook it and give it to the people. That's bad business. And in all honesty, I don't know why we even go to businesses knowing what they do. See, I want to see. I was here this morning, and somebody read something to me. Okay, it was about the military base. Okay, where I'm at, and how everything went up so fast and thrived so fast and hard, and then all of a sudden everything was ripped out from under the people. They went from 500 people, and then 13,000 more people had moved in because of the base, because there were many merchants, businesses. There were taxi services, bus service. That's, to me, it's a business, and it's bad business. It's like, it's not to shame people. It's to say, hey, like, it'd be the same as me as a spiritual guide or healer or what have you. It would be the same as me turning someone away, which certain times, if I'm not ready for them, I keep my distance until I'm ready. But I go up to complete strangers and I don't ask them about their beliefs. Because we can get into a conversation about it if it comes up in the conversation. When I tell people what I'm about, my spirituality aspect of it, because I feel that spirituality is actually like it's everything. Ti sitter där skulle du kuria poria. And it's like when you're one congregation and you're saying about another congregation because of a belief system, but God does not judge, are you not doing something that God does not do? So there's a paradox. We're saying that, well, God wouldn't do it. Okay, so if God wouldn't do it, why would you? Or it's the do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. No, I'm not a preacher. I'm actually someone who has experienced and is going through it. But I chose to give you that explanation, but I didn't need to. I go places like I did a video showing all the different spirituality in my house. Because if you look, you can probably see things from different congregations that resembles something of there or what have you. And I know sometimes it's hard because we look back and we keep saying, well, this happened and that happened and this happened. Well, we're keeping it going. But we don't want to see that. Me and this, like, we had a good conversation. And he has some beautiful stuff that he's made himself. The conversation was very enlightening, and it's the part of like just looking back and see where it started and why are we keeping it going? Because we don't know how many times things have been changed because everything changes. And like I said, we're all on different timelines and now we're all combined. So it's like, if you look around, there's so many different types of wars and protests and what have you. And if you look back over the history or what in the future of this movies and what have you can probably actually see it. But it's a matter of sitting back and actually realizing that it's not about the fear, but seeing what was, is, and moving forward to what could be. Because right now, when people aren't doing business because of for one belief or another, it's bothersome and it's hard to comprehend. When you yourself understand that things have happened. But we're forgetting what was being said. And is everything truth that we're told? Because remember, there's always two sides to every story. And then sometimes there's someone on the sidelines who just happens to see it all. So it's more of trying harder not to pass judgment, because it's all it's all learning, and I still do it. It's about catching yourself. And then seeing if it was a reflection of yourself, of something you felt of yourself of the past, or something that somebody has expressed to you, things like that, because it's a formed program. And that's part of the seed of where it all started. And I see like it's all in what you watch. And whether you know how to tell the difference between a green screen, because fear is profitable. War was profitable, and that's why the people around here felt almost like, well, I would say like abandoned, because they were left with kind of a foundations and stuff all over the place. And I've been through. I guess it's about the problem sometimes is that we don't care about other people's feelings, whether we hurt, when in all actuality, that's what we should be caring about. It's not about opinion, because some opinions, maybe you should keep them to yourself and sort them out yourself and figure out why you have that opinion. Because to me, in a lot of aspects of it, opinion to me is just the same almost as judgment, because it's both. Is it not how you feel? Dice totoria secreta. E shukayaskara e sukulubutiyaya tutayasun. See, sometimes you go on your social media, and that's why people don't want to be on social media anymore. Because you're putting things out there, but do you know what you're putting out there? Do you know why you're putting it out there? Are you just being manipulated in a way? Even if you think that you may not be, we all are in some ways. We may catch it and realize, but it's like seeing it from both sides, because you're looking. You're not right in it. You're not right and involved in it. But I know that it's not up to me to comprehend it, because it's the aspect of seeing it, observing it, and allowing it to leave. And sometimes it becomes an energy emotion, and you just kind of want to put it out there because the throat chakra acts. And it's not, like I said, it's not to throw shade on somebody, and it's a bad business practice, I guess you could say, because it's not a bad business, because they have beautiful stuff. It was a bad business practice. And that's how a lot of these big businesses have been able to take the rug right out from underneath your feet, as this person expressed to me today. So I do listen. And like, I took the book, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to read it, because I haven't really read any of the Bibles except for when I was like 12 years old. I've read bits and pieces of stuff. But if I look stuff up, I want to like kind of hear the different sides. It's like, is one about medicine in the pill sense, and one about plant medicine, natural medicines, natural healing, opposed to cutting someone open. Do we need to be cut open, or is there another way? I believe there's another way. And I know there is another way. It's just people coming together and looking at the bigger picture instead of looking through pages. Right now, everything is so sensitive that, like, for some, if you fart sideways, people will like give you the dirty, evil eye. And some will say, well, it's manners. Well, okay, yeah. But sometimes poop happens, you know. Yeah, somebody just said literally, yeah. But I can't tell you what to do, because you're your own person, even though we're all one. So it's like it is like a ripple effect. It can, like, if somebody doesn't know what's happening, it can be done to one person, and then that person goes to do it to another because they get pissed off. It's like, I'll get you back. It's like the revenge. It's like Snow White and the Evil Queen, the queen wanting revenge. Life isn't supposed to be about revenge. Just when something really done wrong is done. If you look in the criminal code law book, the amount of laws that are in there, it's like, wow. And this is what we're all seeing right now. And some of the people that we don't like, there's a very good possibility they may be a Hyokia and they're freaking pissing us off for a reason. Or they're just pissing us off. It's using your discernment and knowing the difference. But it is, and we say about what is said there in the biblical sense or what have you. And it's all this. It's saying the same thing, but we don't see that. Because we're staying too much inside the little box. We're not expanding our consciousness. We start expanding our consciousness, and sometimes we fall back or slip back or what have you, and then it's like, whoa, okay, rebuild it. Only different stuff comes in. So we don't all really dislike each other. We're just, a lot of us, it's like we're just made to believe that we do dislike each other. Well, if some people just dislike each other, well, then I don't know what to tell you. I guess you just don't like other people. But it's like anything. Don't knock it till you try it. Maybe you just met the wrong people. So it's like, I know that you get in the spirit world, like they're going in, and everybody's trying to sort out their feelings right now. And it's kind of all mixed and matched. Like I said before, it's kind of like a puzzle. The puzzle exploded, and we're all scurrying to find our pieces because we feel lost without them. Dice que it's it's about realizing yourself that you were one of them. And that's why you're holding on to it. The souls, or sorry, the spirits, they keep coming to people, and that's why they say, like, there is such thing as possession, but there's also channeling. As I said before, if somebody says something to you and it reminds you of someone, 9 chances out of 10, it was an aspect of that person channeling through that other person. Because we all do channel. We just don't know that we're doing it sometimes. That's why sometimes we can be channeling the aggression of someone else. Or like someone else in the room. And it can get really confusing. Because then you're left wondering, well, where did that anger come from? Like, I didn't feel that way. So when I look around and I like, there's stuff pops up, and it's like when we find freedom for ourselves, we're finding freedom. And as we teach each other how to find it, that's how you find it. Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Just get to it. Because yeah, when you find yourself, you will find who you are with, like, right in. Because none of us, we originally weren't judgmental. You get kind of put in a system and programmed that way, as I explained, like in Ants, the kids' movie Ants. They had the grasshoppers, and then they had the ants, and then the ants, as they were born, they were shifted off. Or maybe that wasn't ants. It was another aspect of ants. But you had your worker ants, and you had, that's it. Okay, you have your worker ants, and then you have your warrior ants. Okay, like it, just like people. Okay, so those movies I said before, they tell a lot about what's happening now, and that's why I refer to movies. That's why I refer to my favorite series, Once Upon a Time, because I see all different things in it. Like they say in there about dream shade on the arrows or what have you. Okay. And then when I looked that up, what ended up coming up was belladonna, 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 which is said to be nightshade, which nightshade was dream shade. Holy, okay. And that was in Peter Pan. Well, Peter Pan was also the Piper, Peter Piper. Because it's different, the different characters. And it's what the characters are. They're different, they're different aspects of yourself. And that's why we can pick up on energies from different people, because we can kind of feel our own energies sometimes, because the energies are more in tune, they're very in tune with your own body. Let there be light. No, let there be light. Yes, it's finding it from within, and then experiencing it yourself, knowing that when you allow yourself to experience yourself, then you begin to heal physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually with the connection. Se toto je sa lajgore, ime ki toto je škalavai eskopui. Disi ke toto je neke tatukiai, e pulei aškalai, se esuke, suke toto ke mami to ruiliai. Once we start allowing ourselves to see things at a different perspective, allowing ourselves to hear what others have to say and then sort out our own feelings instead of reflecting our feelings onto others. Because that's actually what's happening. And it's reflecting our own feelings at times because we're letting ourselves release it. Because you no longer need to hold on to it. And it is sometimes the aspect of, well, it's easier said than done. Well, it's only easier said than done because we don't keep doing it when it doesn't work the first or second or third time. We don't try no more. It's like when you give up, why are you giving up? I know I've had to ask myself that many times. Why do I feel I'm giving up? Why did I give up? It was the aspect when you feel like you can't go on anymore. It's too hard. And some of us, we feel we have to leave and come back and start different. But what ends up happening is you can wake up faster. Or you can do the work now and not have to repeat a grade. Because that's what it's like. You go back and you have to learn everything all over again. Same sort of struggles, only with different characters, maybe. But in the end, it's the stuff that we've chosen ourselves, even if we don't want to believe it, because it's really hard to believe sometimes. Because we are ourselves, and no matter what timeline or period or what have you, we've all experienced it because we experience each other's, even when we don't realize that we're experiencing it. It's like we travel, and sometimes it's like when you're a spirit, like the astral travel effect. Okay. Sometimes I've asked myself, like, okay, was I a dream within a dream, which is a lucid dream? Or was I in a dream seeing through someone else's eyes or experiencing through someone else's eyes? Because you often get the wonder, like, okay, deja vu. Something seems so familiar. Well, maybe that's because you were in spirit form and you were in another version of yourself. Sounds confusing. But it all makes sense after you understand it a little more. And I'm still I'm still working on wrapping my head around some of the stuff. And it doesn't make me crazy. It makes me aware, enlightened, passionate, with compassion, able to have understanding even a lot quicker, to pull back my own judgment. And that's one of the bigger ones. And by judging someone for their appearance or things like that, that's also bad business practice. Because You're going by the appearance or the story they tell. Dice que tu tole de prigai. Ni kai kire tu shle saka ask tu en e gole putbiai. See, I don't know if that made any sense, but I'm pretty sure it did. Some maybe a little thinking I'm a weird lady or out to lunch, but I'd love to be out to lunch right now. Anybody got any suggestions? So, yeah, funny farm. Been there, done that, and they told me that I was unexplained. So, just like a little kid. And some would say, "You're real mature." Yep. But we are allowed to act like children sometimes. Because you always need to have that aspect of your inner child, because the inner child is your creativity. It's your imagination. And when we lose that imagination, then we put ourselves at a standstill of creating. So our limited beliefs keeps us from being able to create beautiful things. So it's like observing our own behaviors, our own words, and actually hearing ourselves and seeing ourselves. Because my youngest son, he would take temper tantrums. So whenever he'd take a temper tantrum, I'd just do the exact same thing he did. And then I'd stand there and look and say, now how did I look? Or somewhere along that line. And then it was more he just and storm off to his room. So the temper tantrum was over. Because it's the part of wanting attention. But until they stop, it's hard to find out what attention, like why they're looking for attention, what's up. And sometimes they seek for attention. But it started somewhere. And I know that some, they say about children, well, you're to be seen and not heard. But they are creative. And when their minds are shut down, then it's a lot harder for them to create. Even sometimes to do simple math. See, we're in a time now where we need to put aside like past belief, feelings, what have you, and realize that we all have something to offer each other. No matter where you come from, no matter what you look like, no matter your congregation or belief systems or what have you. Because we're supposed to be teaching our kids that. And this person today, like, it's like you're not allowed to teach your kids morals anymore because you're always afraid of something happening. So then they start running amok, and then we blame society, but we need to start looking at ourselves and teaching our children how to be creative and how to go towards their dreams. If your kid says that they want to work as I know some people don't like, oh, you at the profession or what have you, because some kids are afraid of clowns or something like that. But what they're telling you is they want to be they want to be a comedian. And kids usually relate to a clown. So our kids are telling us stuff. It's just in different forms. And it's up to us to decipher it, because they're still learning and they're still trying to understand. But then we dissuade them from the things that they do want. So if they say they want to be a clown and they're funny kids, well, they want to be a comedian, like I just said. Or if they play, like they want to practice magic, they want to become a world famous. They want to become a magician. And the thing is, you got your fake magicians and you have your real ones. The ones that are perceived as fake have not yet learned how to fully tap into their actual magic abilities. So it's about putting into place the right teachings for our children, for the different things, like, because everybody knows how to teach something. And we're all closer than we think. So in schools right now, they're teaching about war and stuff like that. Okay. We keep going over it and over it. What's the real war been about? And even after we get that sorted out, why do we have to keep reliving it? Why don't we teach the stuff that actually helps society as a whole? When you watch Once Upon a Time in the part of Snow White, they go to cut the head off of Medusa because they wanted to turn the queen to stone. Okay. So instead, Charming gets hit and turned into stone. So then Snow White, by realization from the evil queen on the show, tells her that she defeated herself. So then she used a way for Medusa to defeat herself. And in some aspects, we're struggling with our own selves. Like I said, we struggle with our own beliefs because we're left shaking our head and thinking, well, that makes sense, but I can't believe that because that's not part of my belief. So I got to push it out because I'm not allowed to believe it because of my beliefs. Kind of like a paradox, right? So I hope it was helpful because I know when I go back and I watch this, it's going to be kind of informative for me too, because I experienced it and I was trying to understand it. So I guess I'm going to leave you there with that. I hope you've all been having a great week. And the weekend is coming up tomorrow. I wish you all an awesome weekend. Have fun and get out in the sun and spend time with family and, put these machines away for a while and get to know the earth and yourself. No matter if you're man or woman, hop in a salt bath. Even light candles. You could be masculine and still light candles. Potpourri works too. Yeah, well, not potpourri, but I can't even think of the name of them right now. Essential oils. Thank you. Okay. So with that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing, ready to accept and receive. I want you all to be big, bold, brave. Most importantly, be yourself, not someone who someone tells you to be or you have to be. Being authentic. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Never give up and keep going and know that you are more powerful and stronger than sometimes we can even comprehend. Look within here and you will find it. I love you all. Tishkirai. Ekuriatai. Tugiyai.